Today, we're talking about how you might be just one decision away from a totally different life.
Life is beautiful.
So you sent me this great story the other day about a guy named John McAvoy. He grew up in London to a family of criminals. His stepfather was a famous armed robber, and by 16, this kid John had already bought his own first gun. By 18, he got his first prison sentence for trying to rob a bank, and then a few years later, after getting out of that prison sentence, he goes and robs an armored van, goes right back to jail, but this time he goes back to jail for life. So he is spending time in this maximum security prison. He spends a year in solitary confinement. And then in 2009, a few years later, everything changes when he hears that his best friend was killed in a car crash while trying to escape from the cops. And upon hearing this news, John decides, I am done with this life of crime forever. I am never going back. Obviously, there's nothing. He didn't really have a choice to go back because he's stuck in prison for life, but he needs to let off some steam. So the next day, he goes to the prison gym and he gets on the rowing machine. And in one session, he rows 20 straight miles. And in that session, he gets completely hooked on rowing. So he rows 1,000,000 meters in that first month. And within 16 months, he'd broken 3 world records and 8 British records from inside prison.
Wow.
A guard noticed his talent for running and starts to help him out. So he gets out on parole in 2012. But at
For
this
rowing, not running.
Yeah,
Right?
did I say running?
I thought I heard you say running.
I
Okay.
meant rowing. But he's too old for Olympic rowing, so he pivots to training for a triathlon. So at 30 years old, he buys his first bike on eBay, and he teaches himself how to swim using YouTube. A year later, he finishes his first Ironman, and by 2016, Nike signs him, making him the only Nike-sponsored Ironman triathlete in the entire world.
Really?
Today, he speaks around the globe, mentors adults in prisons, has advised the UK government, and even convinced Nike to fund Open Doors, a program that turns UK schools into free sports hubs for disadvantaged kids during summer break.
What a story.
What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing.
This could be made into a movie one day.
For me, what this got me to really think about and reflect on was this power of letting go of an old identity, and the fact that that one decision, like when he said, I am done with crime forever, was when he allowed his mind to be freed up to fill that hole with something else. And that new thing became rowing and then eventually mentoring and all of these amazing things. But he couldn't get there until he let go of this old life that he had. When he made that decision, I am done.
Yeah.
And it took his friend to die for him to get there. But I thought about all the different times in my life where I've made similar decisions, where I drew like that line in the sand, where I was like, no more of this. I don't know what's in my future, but I know I am done with this.
Yeah.
And then it frees up the space, the energy for you to go and find something better.
Yeah. It ultimately comes down to he felt enough pain
Yeah, you're right.
associated with that life. And it's interesting that he didn't feel that pain when he was getting sentenced to life in prison to want to make that change. But it was something outside of himself, his friend dying, that made him feel that pain to really change that identity and shed that skin.
Yeah, not to go into psychotherapy mode, but it's probably because his relationship with himself at the time, he probably cared more about other people than he cared about himself. Because growing up, he was like probably neglected. He just was thrown into this life of crime. So I can't imagine his parents being great parents.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But anyway,
That's pretty nuts. But the analogy that I thought about, or the real life example in nature, is a snake. A snake can't grow without shedding their skin.
Yep.
And if they refuse to let go of the old, they stop growing.
Yep.
And that's exactly what this guy was able to do. He shed that skin, let go of that old narrative, that old identity, so that he can grow into his new life.
Yeah.
And what he did is just extremely inspiring. And it's really, on top of it, it's just a really good story to hang your hat on when you think you've really fucked up in your life. There is hope that you can completely turn that around.
Yeah. And no matter how bad things are, like this guy was serving a life sentence in prison and he was able to turn shit around. I think about all the times in my life where this happened for me. So there was a time in my life where I was addicted to nicotine and it felt like a black cloud followed me around wherever I was going when I was in that addiction. And when I finally had enough pain and I said, you know what, I'm letting go of this thing forever. I just made a decision. I drew a line in the sand. And ever since then, I've felt like the black cloud has disappeared. A simpler one, a much, much simpler one, is I had a group chat with all my childhood friends that I was a part of with like 25 people in it. And it was every second, like message after message after message. And it was always about nonsense. It was never about ideas that were good ideas that would enrich my mind. It was always bullshit about sports and whatever. I decided to leave that group chat. I said enough is enough with this group chat. And it's freed up space in my mind. There's like little things you can let go of. There's big things you can let go of. Another example is my ex, and I think a lot of people have had that, where it's like, no more. I don't know if I'll ever find another person in my life. I don't care. I just know I'm done with this thing. And I think the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, I know this sounds like we're getting woo-woo, but I really believe that it's an energy thing where you won't be able to enter a new stage of your life where good things will come to you until you let go and make space for that good energy. And the only way you can make space for that good energy is to let go of the bad energy without knowing fully what that space will be filled with next. You have to have like that blind faith to just say, I'm done with this. I don't know what's next, but I know that I'm done with this.
Wow. Did you rub your crystal rocks before you came in?
No, I did not.
No, I'm just fucking with you. No, I agree with you. So what's the call to action?
The call to action is very simple. It's to ask yourself, what do you need to let go of? Who or what is holding you back from living a totally different life? Is it a nasty habit or addiction? Is it a person or a friend group? Is it a toxic work environment that you are totally fed up with? Is it a city or town that you feel like is limiting you? You could be one decision away from a completely different life if you decide to finally let go of that thing that is holding you back. And deep down, you know what it is for you. We all do.
Very deep, Mike. Very deep. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us. We love you.
Peace.